Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Businesswomen Awards and the Best SME Awards. And today we are talking all things fashion because I am being joined by my guest, Catherine Grout, who is someone who helps professional women step into their confidence. She's an expert on personal styling and colour confidence, and she's dedicated to empowering women and business owners to look and feel amazing in their clothes. She's been doing this now as a business for the last couple of years, and she won a silver award for Best New Business in the Best Businesswomen Awards in 2025. But her interest in fashion has been lifelong. So we're going to be talking all about fashion and we're going to talk about the dress that she wore to the awards. So more about that later. So welcome, Catherine.
Thank you, Debbie. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to see you again. So tell me all about what brought you to your styling business and why you're so passionate about fashion.
Absolutely, yeah. So, as you said in your lovely intro, I have absolutely had a lifelong passion for fashion and clothing, right from really when I was very, very young. My mum was also very keen on fashion and she was always shopping. So it was there in my DNA, but it wasn't really something that I ever considered as a business. I worked for a very long time in technology and innovation, and I was always the person turning up in a different outfit every day. And I think, to be honest, people were a bit like, what's she got on there? What's she wearing? And but for me, that wasn't just about, wearing the latest fashions or whatever. It was really about wearing what made me feel good. And, it's not always easy in a corporate environment. And I think my style was part of my personality and part of me being able to communicate that personality as well. Ultimately, I was made redundant from that career. It wasn't necessarily something I would have chosen, but I found myself just at the beginning of lockdown, thinking to myself, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do next? And I decided that it was time to make a change to work in a new industry. And as part of that, I started working on a fashion blog, and I thought, hang on a minute, this could actually be my life. I could do this every day. I could work in the fashion industry. And that soon became something I translated into a desire really to help other people. I didn't want it just to be about me and showing off my outfits and saying, look at this. Obviously, that is what an influencer does. It's a very valid career choice. But for me, it didn't feel that it was right for it to be just about me. I wanted it to be about other people and helping other people and helping them to really have the gift of style to make them feel good about themselves and to also help them grow their businesses as well.
So you started What Am I Wearing just under 2 years ago. So what was the sort of thought process? Did you have to do any training or did you bring your own kind of experiences to the business?
I did have that sort of, I guess, instinct and ability to, I think, put an outfit together and all that sort of thing. But I also did formally train. So I undertook a personal styling diploma with London College of Style. I also trained in colour analysis as well. So that gave me that real sort of those tools and grounding really to be able to sort of, and that expertise. I started working with clients very quickly as well to build my knowledge. I actually also now teach for London College of Style, which has been absolutely wonderful because as for to do that, I've been able to also bring my knowledge from my previous career to bear because a lot of this is about helping people to start their business in color analysis. So it's been a lovely thread that I've been able to pull through. And then really my other kind of real place where I've learnt my kind of, trade in a sense is through business networking. It's been hugely valuable because I've learnt so much from other business owners. Because I knew how to like, I don't know, manage a project, do something new. I had a lot of experience, but I didn't really know how to run a business. So that has made a huge difference to me. And also, being part of the world in which you're in, Debbie, as well. That's how I met you,
Yes, it was.
within the Athena
At
network.
Athena.
And
Yeah,
that
we
whole
did.
business network has given me so much value over time. So it's been a mixture of things, formal training plus all of that business know-how from all the amazing people that are out there, you know,
Yeah, because
female
stepping out of the
entrepreneurs.
comfort
It's
zone
been so
of
important.
corporate life is tricky, isn't it? When you've always been in corporate, then to start up your own business, it is challenging, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're a business owner, you'll know this already, but you know, every the buck stops with you. So,
Hmm.
everything that you do, your social media, managing your finances, going out and getting business, you know, your admin. Obviously, you can grow your business and get to the point where you're hiring other people to do those jobs, but most solo entrepreneurs start off as one-man bands and do all that stuff themselves. So just that juggle can feel quite challenging. So the juggle's tough, and also the self-belief at times can be tough. It's like, what am I
Mm.
doing? Is this going to work? That, whole kind of imposter syndrome thing. And I definitely had that at the beginning. I wasn't used to talking about my business. I remember my first business network meeting, just almost like having to read off a script to say what I was doing, and why it was, what it was all about. And it felt very strange. But now it feels really lovely. I'm much more comfortable. So.
It was natural. So let's parachute into your world and talk us
hmm
through the experience a client will go through when they come to work with you for some styling and colour consultation. How does it all work?
So once someone enters my world, what usually happens is um, they will look at my website and they'll think, oh, actually, yeah, I need a bit of that. I'm at a point in my life where I'm feeling in a bit, usually people are feeling in a bit of a style rut for whatever reason. They might have had body shape changes, life changes, employment changes, anything like that. And that's, what can often prompt people to feel that they need a bit of an uplift within their style. So, them having got to that point, the first thing that happens is I talk to them for a good 45 minutes, usually on Zoom, and we have a really kind of informal chat just about how they're feeling about their style, what their objectives are, and then really leading on to, what my services might be able to bring for them. Because, at that point, it's definitely not all about, kind of it's a very, I guess, a very client-led process. It's all about them. It's all about where they are in their life and what they want to achieve and really then, matching that with how I can help them. So usually what happens then is that we will start with what's known as the styling fundamentals. So there's three things there that are really important to most people. The first one is knowing what colours suit you because when you're wearing colours which really um, do suit your skin tone, I'm not exaggerating. It really does take a few years off you without makeup. You look more glowy, you look more relaxed, you look like you've had a good night's sleep. Um, because what often happens is colours are fighting with people's skin tone, and people tend to wear a lot of black as well, which is understandable. It's a slimming colour, and that's true. It is slimming, but it's also
Guilty.
on many complexions it is actually quite draining. And so what you're doing then is you're then probably piling on the makeup to make yourself look, like a bit more awake. So, colour is also hugely beneficial for a positive mood and a positive mindset. And as we know as business people, that mindset is hugely important. So if you also understand color and color psychology, it can really help you to show up in your business in the way that you really want to for your clients and make the right impression. I can't sort of go into a huge amount of detail, obviously, in just for this in about color psychology, but it's a huge part of
Mm.
how you can relate to the world as a business owner. So that's the fundamental piece. That's usually most people, if they haven't done that before, will start doing that with me and get that piece in place. Then the other thing is looking at your body shape and how you can actually fit and flatter that because it's a bit, a lot of dressing is all about optical illusions. So, I can help people to streamline their figures, make them look taller, make them look slimmer if that's something that they want to do. And that can all be done with how you dress best for your body shape. Then the third element is it's all about your style and your style personality. We don't all like the same things. Some of us like to dress in quite a classic way. Some of us have a little bit more of a boho style. Some of us might like a bit of drama or want to dress in a more edgy way. But the important thing is, I help you to dress in the way that you may always secretly have wanted to, but never had the kind of the courage or the means to do so. You may have had that inner diva there all the time, or you may have, I don't know, always wanted to look like Audrey Hepburn or whatever it is, But I can bring that element out with my clients so they really then can step into a style that feels like them. So it's not about what I think, looks nice. Although obviously I do have that stylist eye. It's about them feeling really good about themselves in their clothing. Then the other side of this process, the other aspect of this process is really about the practicalities. So
Mm.
they've come to me, we've worked all of that lovely stuff out. I've given them lots of tips and tricks. But then usually what people do is they come to me for a wardrobe edit.
Mhm.
Or I go to them actually in this case, and I go through their wardrobe with them, and I help them to really be liberated from all that stuff that clogs up our lives, often as women. Most people only wear about 10 to 20% of what's in their wardrobe at any given time. There are just a
Mhm.
few things that we feel comfortable with, and the rest of it sits, and it can feel like a real emotional drain, I think, on us because we're aware of it being there, but we don't really know what to do with it. So I help to filter out those things which aren't serving us and aren't making us feel good. It's not about chucking out everything you own. It's about really looking at the things that you do have that you can actually work with. So
Mm.
my magic piece is at the end of the session, I help people to put together outfits and stuff they already own. And there's usually
Mm.
some real wow moments for people. Then we go, I never would have thought of that. I never would have thought of this. And so the stylists expertise, a lot of that is about how to put an outfit together and how to accessorize. So hopefully at the end of that process, you're thinking, wow, I've now got all these, wonderful opportunities to wear my existing clothing, wear the colors that suit me, and wear stuff that flatters my body shape and what I already own. So no kind of like, throwaway fashion there, all very much about sustainable fashion. And then moving on from that, usually what happens is we make a list together of all the things that people really would love to have in their wardrobe but don't at the moment. And I help them then to shop for those. And that could be either shopping, in the actual physical shops, for example, in John Lewis, or it could be giving them access to lovely curated online boards, which they can then shop off with, which will be focused on whole outfits. So, by the end of that process, you should be feeling that you've got an outfit for every occasion. You should be feeling good about what you're wearing, and this shouldn't be something that's holding you back in your life in the way that often it is to us, because it just kind of saps our confidence a little bit, doesn't it, when we go out and we're just not feeling it, our outfits, you know? So I want to take
Especially when
away,
you're going to an event or something as well. As a business owner, if
yeah.
you're going to sort of networking or conferences and things, you want to feel confident, don't you, in what you're wearing?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so important. Um, and yeah, and I also so dressing for special events is definitely something that I do work on with clients. For example, a business network contact, she had a wedding coming up, and it was going to be a posh wedding, and she was feeling quite down about it. She was feeling that everyone else is going to look better than me. Everyone's going to look like they're dressed more expensively than me.
Mm.
I'm, she's a petite lady, and I think a size sort of 14 to 16. So not feeling particularly great as well about her body, and her body confidence was a little bit low. And so what I was able to do for her was to put together a whole load of outfit options that she could then pick from. And I was able to make sure that she really looked the business on the day. And she did. She looked amazing and she was so happy. So something that she might have been going into feeling a little bit negative about and not feeling so good, she went in, head held high, and that's another thing as well that's so important. It's how you kind of, having the confidence to wear your clothes and to stand tall and to know that, you're looking good, and even more than that, you're looking the way you want to look and it feels like you.
Mm.
So yeah. I love working with that particular client. I was so happy, when I saw her on the day. That's everything
Yeah,
really, in the photos that she
amazing.
sent to me.
And
So
it's such a
mm.
lovely role to play in people's lives, I think, making them look
Oh
good and
yeah,
feel good.
honestly. Yeah, above anything else, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning to do this kind of work. The testimonials I've had from clients when they've said how much this has changed their lives, you know, and it doesn't just change their lives once, it changes their lives on a permanent basis. In a sense, it's a transformation, that's made. And once it's made, you get that benefit every day, really. So, yeah.
Fabulous. Well, that sounds
Mm.
amazing. So let's talk about business awards. So I'm going to start off talking about the amazing gown that you wore, the teal sparkly number that was just stunning.
Oh,
You waltzed in to the drinks reception, and I immediately saw this amazing dress on you, and I just thought, gosh, she looks amazing. She looks like an Os ready for the Oscars. Tell people
oh,
where you got that dress from, because I think it's really important to share this stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that dress came from a local charity shop.
Fantastic. And
And
what's the story behind it?
so at that point in my sort of life, things weren't great, to be honest. I hadn't really managed to launch my business. Things were difficult at home, within the family. There was some sort of personal issues and things which were tricky. And so I was quite down. But I saw this dress and I thought, oh, I just love that. Okay, I don't know when I'm going to wear it. I don't know what it's for, but I just want it in my life. So I brought the dress home. It was a little bit long and it was a little bit had a little bit of fraying, but I thought, well, that's okay. So I took it to a tailor, just had a little bit a little bit taken up. So it probably only cost me, it probably cost me less than 10 quid to be honest. And
Mm.
then the tailoring obviously cost a little bit more. And it sat there and it sat there, and I didn't really have the occasion to wear it. And then when the awards came along, I thought this dress is now having its outing. This is the time, this is the occasion for this dress. And it was so lovely to wear it because A, I felt good in it. Also, I think it had that vibrant color as well and that sparkle. So that sort of sense of joy in that color. And so many people came up and said, "Oh, I love that color. I love that dress. Where did you get it?" And I was like, "Oh, there's a charity shop." And they're like, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing." So that was nice. And also, I think what really brought home to me as well is that sort of powerful impact that color can have upon mood as well. And I think quite a few of us would secretly maybe like to wear a little bit brighter colors on these sorts of occasions, but we probably just are not quite sure how to do that and whether it will suit us. So yeah, it was a lovely kind of circular moment for me being at the awards in that dress
Well, I
and
think
knowing that I'd been able
yeah,
to make that change in my life
you
and grow
rocked
my
it.
business.
Yeah, and I think you rocked the dress and you walked the walk because it's what you do for a living. So you turning up in black wouldn't have worked, I'm afraid.
No, absolutely not. No, no, no.
So talk
Black
me
can still.
through the no, no black.
Hmm.
Talk me through your thought process to entering the best new business category and how you found that whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, I heard about it, as I was saying earlier, because I think you came and presented on it at the Athena
Hmm.
Network. And initially, I was like, oh no, it's too early, it's too soon. I've only had my business a little while. What am I really going to talk about? Have I really got, the right credentials? So there was a bit of a self-doubt there. Um, but then I had a chat with Maggie, who runs my particular Maggie Sarfo, who runs my particular group, and she was very encouraging. I think we also had a one-to-one as well, didn't we, Debbie?
Hmm.
And you explained to me a little bit more about it and about the background and the value of it and everything. And to be honest, I just went like, what the hell? I'm going to fill this in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a punt. If it doesn't come to anything, it doesn't come to anything. That's okay. I had to be okay with that as a possibility as
Mm,
well. And you were very good as well with the guidance that you gave people to say that, you know, it's not necessarily something that will work out for you first time.
mm,
You may not, be successful, but it is something that you can work towards. You
mm,
can also refine, how you present yourself. But I think also for me, the whole process of filling in the form and
mm,
actually focusing on what I had achieved in my business and what I've been able to do was a really positive thing too, because it made me go like, actually, yeah, I haven't done badly on this, and it has worked out despite of all the, obstacles that I had in my path at the time. I didn't think I'd ever have a business. I just thought I was going to be kind of, I know, at home, and
mm,
that's not necessarily always a bad thing, but for me, it was not what I wanted. It was not what I wanted to do for the remainder of my kind of working life. I really did have that passion and want to get out there. So it helped to solidify all of that kind of, knowledge about what I'd achieved and to reflect on it. And that whole process itself was actually very heartening and valuable.
mm.
So then I waited, and then I was like, oh my God, I've been
There you go.
shortlisted.
There you
Yeah.
go. And you
So
walked away
that was
with a
that was
silver
just.
award. I know.
Yeah, it
Amazing.
was such a lovely moment. And the event itself, yeah, was just brilliant.
Thank
It
you.
really was.
I
Yeah.
think you manifested it buying that dress. That's my view. I
Maybe
think
that's what it
the
was.
dress
Yeah.
was there, ready, and it had to be worn. So let's talk a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
about sustainable fashion, because
Hmm.
I was reading an article recently and it said there are more than enough clothes in the world. We don't even need to produce any more clothes because there are so many clothes in this world. So what are your sustainable fashion tips? Because obviously that was a great find, that dress. So what does Catherine do in terms of shopping for sustainable fashion?
Yeah. So I'm what's known as a charity shop ninja. I go in there and I come out with some really, really good things. Um, and there's a few things that you can do to kind of make that whole process of shopping, sort of for vintage and charity shops work a little bit better for you. And the first things are a little bit about the stuff I was talking about at the beginning. If you know what colours suit you,
Mm,
charity shops are a brilliant place to go because they have all-round colour. You probably notice that when you go into the normal high street shops, there's quite a limited range of colours available. So, for example, in autumn, winter, everything tends to be quite dark colours. In spring, summer, things tend to, there's little pastels and things around. But those may not be shades that particularly suit you. But charity shops are excellent because they have colours all year round. So if you know your colours, you can go and you can get, if it's on something red or yellow or green in your shade. So that's something you can really do as well, which will really serve you. The other thing as well is kind of treat the process in the same way as you would going into a normal shop. Just because it's something that only costs £5, it doesn't necessarily mean you should take it home. So have a real think about whether it's actually going to flatter you, whether it's going to look good on you. Certain categories of clothing I find also are better than others. Trousers are also a category which can be a bit tricky for us as women because, as you
mm.
know, for example, finding the right pair of jeans, you know, it's hard anyway, isn't it, when we've got all those sizes and, styles available. So I would say perhaps, you know, don't spend too long looking at the trouser category. But
Yeah.
outerwear is fantastic. It also tends to not be very worn. So I've got the most fantastic blazers and coats. Um, Bags as well. You can get some real gems. I got little beaded bags and all sorts of things in there. Shoes as well sometimes can be great.
Mm,
I would say probably the area that I get the most out of is the dress category.
mm,
And actually occasion wear that we were talking about earlier, because people don't
mm.
tend to wear dresses maybe once, you know.
Yeah,
I
and
came
then they
out
give it
just before Christmas with two jumpsuits for
mm,
£6 each.
bargain.
Lovely. Both of them fit. But I wouldn't have bought them as well if I'd adhered to the sizing label too closely because they said they were 12. I picked them
Mm,
up and I went, absolutely no way. These are really, really, these are significantly smaller than the 12. So
mm.
don't think I look through everything from size 8 to 16, to be honest, and even
Oh,
beyond.
okay. Yeah. And then
Because,
do you try on before you
it,
buy, or do you go home with it?
um, I would recommend you do if you can.
Mm,
But for me, not always no, because I know my body shape so well, I can usually
mm.
tell actually
Yeah,
whether something's going
both
to
from
fit or not.
looking
But
at it.
yeah, try on if you can, definitely. If not, then it's really easy to take it back, usually in
Yeah,
most charity shops, or, consider it as a donation and then move it on somewhere else. That's another option,
move
isn't
it,
it? That's the
redonate
lovely
it.
thing about it, you're giving back every time you buy. And I feel so much better about that in myself than I do going,
Mm,
to the high street shops or
mm.
buying fast fashion online. It makes me feel a bit sad sometimes. I still do it.
I I rarely buy now in a shop. I tend to buy charity shops, Vinted, eBay. Mainly because
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I've
that's
got
great to hear.
an unusual body shape. The dress I was wearing for the awards came off Vinted, and I think it was about £20 or something. It wasn't a lot. But, I was
Yeah.
really pleased
No,
with it. And
Vinted is so good as well.
yeah, and I think it's
Yeah.
easy, really. And you often
Yeah.
find bits and pieces that you wouldn't find in the shops, like you said,
Yeah.
ordinarily. So let's finish off by talking about what your plans are for 2026. So what's cooking with Catherine?
Ah, yeah. So, so as I mentioned before, I teach students colour analysis at London College of Style. So I've got a full year of that. So we'll bring through
Mm,
three cohorts of students, which is going to be really exciting. I'm also hoping to go in and do a little bit more face-to-face teaching as well at London College of Style. That'll be really lovely. I'm also thinking about how I can bring my expertise to more people at the same time. And that'll be lovely to do because obviously I love working one to one. But I'm thinking about a program. I'm thinking of calling it Style and Grow. So the idea would be about styling yourself and making yourself happy, but also growing your business at the same time. So what you do is you go through the process and you would learn. I'd help you to find the colors that suit you. I'd help you to analyze your body shape. You'd put together your own Pinterest boards, for example, of outfits and ideas that you really like. You would edit your wardrobe as well,
Mm-hmm.
as part of the course. You would be in a cohort with other, probably women. I think we'll probably do it just women to start off with, but I do style men as well. Um, and so you would work together to help and support each other in that process. I would also help you to look at your business branding and your business image and how you want to show up for your clients. I'd also probably build in some additional expertise as well in things like mindset, a little bit about menopause and those things from experts I know. So, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I don't think any stylists are running this kind of program at the moment. So
No.
it would be something new.
Mm.
So I'm really excited about that. Um, and hopefully that's something that I will be able to sort of get off the ground towards autumn time. I've also had a book in the kind of the ether for a while as well. So this could be the year that I do that, and that's all about really will be about lots of tips, but also about my story as well and my sort of relationship with fashion over the years and what that's meant to me and what that can then sort of mean to other people. So
Well,
yeah,
all sounds very, very exciting.
yeah, really exciting year ahead.
Great. Well, thank you for
Mm.
joining me today, Catherine. We will make sure that Catherine's details are in the show notes. So if you want to contact her for some style and image advice, then you will be able to do that. And Catherine, I'm sure we're going to see you on many more award stages rocking amazing gowns.
Yeah.
So I wish you continued success with your business.
Thank you so much, Debbie. It's been really lovely to speak to you today and to also be reminded of that amazing event.
Yes,
It was so much
thank
fun.
you. We must use that photo of you in that dress in our podcast promotion.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Catherine. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.